Hello, 6th grade. Welcome to Unit 7, Day 4's lesson. We're going to put together what we reviewed for Lessons 1, 2, and 3. You're going to write and solve one-step equations, and our learning objective is 610A. Real-world scenarios can often be solved by using equations. For example, a real-world situation is given. You're going to put together what you've learned so far, write your equation and solve to help find the solution for your real-world situation. So, Emilio purchased a variety of chips for $9.24. He wanted to find the cost of each bag of chips in the variety pack. He created a model shown to help find the cost of one bag of chips. What is the cost of each bag of chips? Now, this should remind you of finding unit rate when we did our ratios and rates unit. The cost of one item is called the unit rate, and we'll build on that in 7th and 8th grade. It's called slope, rise over run, and we'll get more into that in our next unit. So if he bought a variety of chips, and you know that the total was $9.24, that is why he put it right here as the total for all of the chips. And now you don't know what the cost of one bag of chips is, but you do know that the total was $9.24. Okay, we can tell that he bought 12 bags of chips represented by the 12 C's. So we need to first identify, what do you know? You know the number of bags, and you know the total paid. You are looking for the price per bag. So that is how we are going to set up our equation. And then taking what we learned from lesson 3, you're going to do the inverse operation. You're going to divide both sides by 12 to see that $9.24 divided by 12 will give you the solution of 77 cents, which represents that each bag of chips is going to cost 77 cents. Let's take a look at our next problem to the right with Daniel and the flower. Daniel had X number of flowers. She gave 27 flowers to her friend Sabrina and kept 16 flowers for herself. Write and solve an equation to determine how many flowers X Danielle had to start with. So if she gave 27 flowers to her friend Sabrina, she kept 16 for herself. Now I know some of you are like, oh, I'm going to take the 27, I'm going to add the 16, and I'll get my total. And you're absolutely right. You can start with that thinking and then work backwards to help you write an equation. The variable represented in this situation is how many flowers Danielle started with. So we're going to take that. That is our variable. We're going to subtract what she gave away, which is the 27. And we know that she had 16 left over. So we're going to use working backwards to write our equation. Then, taking what you learned in lesson 2, draw your line, box your variable. You are going to use your inverse operations to find the solution of how many flowers Danielle started with. So the opposite of subtracting 27 is adding 27 to both sides. We're going to plug that into our equation, and we're going to see that Danielle started with 43 flowers. Now, please remember to always go back and check your work, because if you go back and check your solution, you're guaranteed to get 100% correct on all of these problems. So we're going to take our solution of 43, plug it into the original equation, and 43 subtract 27 will give us 16. So you have done the work correctly. You do have the correct answer. So let's scroll to the bottom of your notes, and you're going to try some problems independently. I would like for you to please write and solve an equation for these real-world situations. You're going to find the solution for the box of crayons. And you're going to write an equation and find a solution for the tissue boxes. Now, I want to let you know, you're not always going to do multiplication and division. Sometimes it's the opposite. And so use caution when approaching the problem here at the bottom. We do have addition and subtraction on these problems. So pause the video and work a crayon box contains. Work this problem first. When you're done, resume the video, but pause the video now. A crayon box contains 24 crayons. Miss Garcia has a total of 192 crayons. Determine how many boxes of crayons B she has. So if she has 24 crayons, we don't know how many boxes she has. That's the B for what you're looking for. But we are multiplying, because if you take the number of crayons in one box, multiply it by the number of boxes, you get a total of 192. So you're going to draw your line. You are going to box your variable. And then you're going to do the inverse operation. Instead of multiplying by 24, divide both sides by 24. You're going to get a solution of 8. Please remember to check your solutions and see if they are correct. I hope you did that. If you multiply 24 by 8, you will get 192 equals 192, so your solution is correct. If you got a different number here, if you didn't get 7 or 6, or if you got something else, plug it in to the original equation to check your work, because no one should get any of these problems wrong. You can always go back and check your solutions. Okay, so there is 2 examples of multiplication in our earlier in our notes and here. I'd like to give you an example of division before you move on to complete some problems at the bottom. So let's work this question together. Jamie had a bag of gummy bears. She separated the gummy bears into equal parts. If I see that word equal parts, I'm going to be thinking division. She is going to take the number of gummy bears for herself and 4 friends. She's going to share with herself and 4 friends. So how many people are we splitting these gummy bears between? How many groups are we going to have? Think about that sentence. It says each person received 18 gummy bears. Each person. Determine how many total gummy bears there were in the bag. So we are looking for the total that Jamie started with, and we are going to split it between 5 people. So we're going to take the total number of gummy bears, split between Jamie and her 4 friends. So Jamie plus 4 is 5, but we know that each person is going to get 18 gummy bears. Please remember from lesson 3, the opposite of dividing by 5 is going to be multiplying both sides by 5. So we are going to multiply both sides by 5. The opposite of division. Now, if we have 5 and you divide by 5, you are going to cancel out the 5s on the left side, and then 18 times 5 is 90. Now don't take my word for it. We need to check your answers. So take the original answer of 90. I want you to divide it by the original divisor of 5 and see if it equals 18. Pause the video, do 90 divided by 5 to check your answer. Okay, so you did get a quotient, or a correct 18 equals 18, so there are 90 gummy bears in the bag. When you are finding your solutions, I need you to write a complete sentence at the end of your answer. So if the question is asking you how many gummy bears are in the bag, you're going to answer that there are 90 gummy bears in the bag. If it's asking you to determine how many boxes of crayons, then you will answer it as 8 boxes of crayons. So please make sure that you label your answers so we know what they represent. I'd like for you to please solve this bottom question in the left. The boxes of tissues, you will use subtraction in your equation. Pause the video and work this question now. Okay, so your equation should have been t minus 56 equals 4. Draw your line. Make sure you box your variable. The opposite of subtracting 56 is adding 56 to both sides, and you will see that t equals 60. Let's check your work. Please take 60 and plug it into the original equation if you haven't already. Okay. Going back and plugging in your solution to the original equation is very important. So you will see that 60 subtract 56 is in fact 4, which is what you are looking for. So the store had 60 boxes of tissues at the beginning of the day. I have given you the equation and solution for the last problem. You are going to make sure you plug in the solution into the original equation. So if your solution is 21, and 21 does in fact equal 28, so you have completed the solution properly. Please make sure you plug your solutions in and check your work. So the opposite of adding 7 is subtracting 7. Let me know if you have any questions about this problem or any other problems on the notes. You will see that Beth's brother is 21 years old. Come and see me if you have any questions. That concludes lesson 4. You may go on to your homework. Thank you.